Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa, and today I am doing the Get to Know My Tastes tag. Oh, that is a bit of a tongue twister. This is a reading tag, so it's all about my reading tastes and all of those types of things. This was created by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes and Mari from My Name is Marinette. I will link both of their channels and their videos in the description. This tag was created as a way to make it easier for the community to find each other, for people to find others in the community who have similar reading tastes to us. Sam explains it much better. Go watch her video. Let's get into the tag. Question number 1 is, how do you rate books? I use the 5-star system, so 1 through 5. 1 being the worst, 5 obviously is the best. I do use quarter stars, so that would be like 0.25, 0.50, 0.75. So a very, very basic rundown of how I do my rating system. 1 star, hated it. 2 star, didn't like it. 3 star was just okay. Don't really have much feelings about it, whatever. 4 star, liked it. 5 star, loved it. I am not very analytical with my rating. It's basically just what I feel at the time of rating the book. I just kind of go off of my feelings when it comes to reading my books. Question number 2, how do you approach reviewing books? What is your review style? Are you analytical, emotional, casual, or structured? I'm very casual with rating my books or reviewing my books. I haven't done a lot of reviews here on BookTube. That is something that I really want to change and start getting into, making standalone reviews for books. But when I review them, like in my wrap-ups or if I review on Goodreads or in my reading journal, whatever, pretty casual. It's basically just like my initial thoughts on the story. Nothing really about the writing. It's more about the story that was told and like how I feel about it and what I thought about it, that kind of thing. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more analytical with my reviewing, but it is difficult sometimes for me to articulate my thoughts and like get them into words that make sense. So that is something that I will be working on. But for now, I would say I'm pretty much a casual. I just kind of talk about how the books make me feel, I guess. Question number 3, what's the book that made you a reader? I have been a reader my entire life. My mom is a reader. She used to read a lot when I was growing up, and she used to read to me a lot when I was growing up. So honestly, like, reading has always been a part of my life. As soon as I was capable of reading books, I was reading books. So like very, very young age. So I can't say there's like, oh, this one book really got me into reading, but I can say that there is 2 different series that really had an impact on me as a child that really like bolstered my love of reading and got me from reading like picture books and stuff like that into chapter books and beyond. So those 2 series would be Pony Pals and Animal Arc Pets. Pony Pals is by Janine Vintoncourt, and Animal Arc Pets is by Ben M. Baligo. Seriously, both of these, I have such core memories of these books, of these series from when I was a child, and these are what got me into reading, you know, like I said, more than just a picture book. So Pony Pals is about a group of young girls who form a club, and they call it Pony Pals. This is I Want a Pony. It's book 1. And yeah, it's just all about these girls and their ponies and the adventures that they get up to. Whereas Animal Arc is about a young girl whose parents are veterinarians and their clinic is attached to their house. So she has to like help out with the clinic. They're kind of mysteries as well. So she has to kind of help solve these mysteries that are going on revolving the animals that are at her parents' clinic. And I just adored them so much. So yeah, these would be the 2 books I would say as a child really got me into, like, you know, reading more advanced things. There's a couple more I can think of. I would say Twilight was definitely a huge, huge deal for me. Twilight was really the first time that I became part of a fandom. I discovered what fandoms were and just became engulfed in Twilight culture. Like, I was definitely a Twilight fan for sure. Twilight came out when I was in high school, and so it just was like kind of, it took over, you know. I'm definitely a Team Jacob fan. Always and forever. Like I said, it was the first thing that made me realize what fandoms were. I became involved in the fandom and just absolutely adored it. So like I do credit that series for a big part of the, who I am today as a reader. And the third one would be an author specifically, and that's Frank Peretti. He, I feel like, really gave me my love of spooky books. He's a Christian fiction author, but he writes a lot of, or he wrote, I don't think he's written a book in a long time, but the books he wrote were very much suspense, spiritual warfare, borderline, you could say horror in some aspects, like very, very twisty, dark type of stories. And that, I think, is where my love of the dark, twisty stuff came from. So we have Frank Peretti to thank for that one. Okay, question number 4 kind of goes into what I was just saying. Do you have a genre niche? Are there certain genres you gravitate towards, or do you read widely? So yeah, I definitely gravitate towards certain genres. I would say that my main genres that I read are thrillers and fantasy. So within thrillers, I would say anything categorized as spooky. So some horror, some mystery, some suspense, but thriller is kind of the core of it. So it's like a horror thriller, a mystery thriller, that kind of thing. I don't read a lot of horror. I'm really picky with the type of horror I read. I don't like really gory, really intense stuff, but more the psychological, thrilling type of things. I love me a gritty thriller, but I do, again, read more mysteries. I occasionally read like the cozy mystery and stuff, but I prefer more mystery thriller than like just straight up mystery. And then as far as fantasy goes, the only type of fantasy I don't read is romantasy. I am not a romance reader. I am not a romantasy reader. I don't read any of that kind of stuff. But wherever fantasy falls, if you're on more sci-fi, like sci fantasy, if you're on more fantastical, like high fantasy or magical realism, I kind of read it all. So those would be my 2 main things I would say. Again, with fantasy is like the backbone of everything, right? So everything has that fantastical element. I do read some straight sci-fi. I do read some historical fiction. I do read some lit fic. I'm really, like I said, romance and contemporary are really the only 2 genres that I really don't really ever pick up. But I'll read, through a wide range of genres, but fantasy and thriller are the 2 most common genres that I read from. Question number 5, do you generally prefer character-driven or plot-driven stories? I'm 100% a plot-driven reader. Like, I do not care about deep emotional, like, deep dives into the psyche of these people. I'm like, no, give me some plot, give me some action, give me some atmosphere. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a sucker for an atmospheric book. Oh, I love it. It's like, of course, I want to have some character development, right? You need to have some kind of character in there. But I have found I am definitely more plot driven. I definitely prefer books that have the atmosphere, that have the plot. I mean, hello, that's what a plot driven reader is. I don't care if my characters are unlikable. I read thrillers, you guys. Most of the time, like a lot of times, everyone sucks in thriller books. So I don't care. Like, they could all be unlikable and I could still really, really enjoy the book. That is not something that bothers me at all. Give me some plot and I am happy. Question number 6, what's a book you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? I'm going to go more of a series. I don't actually have the first book in the series, but we're just going to go with it. And that would be the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs. This is book 6 in the series. This is Silverborn. And the first book is Mooncalled. So I will say, though, that Mooncalled is one of my favorites of the series. It's the very first book in the series. So I would say, like, if I have to pick a book, it would be that book. But I'm just going to say this whole series in general. I love this so much. This is a urban fantasy paranormal, I guess you could say romance, but like it's more, what is it? It's more fantasy romance than romantasy, right? It's a fantasy with a romantic subplot, I guess you could say. It's not heavy on the romance. It's definitely more heavy on the fantastical elements, the paranormal elements, and I just love it so much. This whole series, we're following our main character here, Mercy, a coyote shapeshifter who was raised by werewolves, and her boss is a grumpy old fae. So they're so good. There are so much depth to these stories, but they follow all sorts of creatures and myths within, paranormal type of things within the whole series. And I really like the fact that the fae in here are evil. The fae are very much the fae from the original folktales. They are not Sarah J. Maas fae. They are not the kind of fae that you want to tangle with in any way, shape, or form. They are very much evil manipulators out for themselves type of things. And it just, oh, it's so good. So yeah, the Murphy Thompson series, 100%. Okay, question number 7. What's a book you love so much that if anyone doesn't like it, you know your reading tastes don't align? I don't have an answer to this question because I do read, more widely. Like even though I'm like thriller fantasy, I read widely within the subgenres of both of those. I'm not like only a very specific type of fantasy. So I can't really pinpoint because like if someone doesn't like a thriller book that I love, doesn't mean that they won't like the fantasy that I read, right? So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an answer for this question. Question number 8. What's in your trash pocket? So books, tropes, or themes you know are bad, but love them anyways. Paranormal, urban fantasy, paranormal, not necessarily like paranormal romance, even though I know that's what most of them are, but like paranormal, urban fantasy type of stories, specifically werewolves. I will say this, okay? I am a werewolf fan. Like I said, I was a Jacob stan. There's werewolves in these books. I love them. Shapeshifters, I guess, in general, not just werewolves. So yeah, I would say that is definitely something that is kind of, yeah, I don't want to say trashy, but like it's not like highbrow, right? Werewolves are not highbrow literature. I mean, I don't know, maybe there is one, but I haven't found it. Yeah, that's what I would say. I love werewolves. Actually, you guys, if you want to kind of know a little bit more about the books that I love, check out my TBR video I just posted because I go through my entire TBR and you will see there are quite a few werewolf books on my TBR, and it'll kind of give you an idea, a more so idea of some of my trash pocket, I guess, type of books that I have. So yeah, but werewolves, I can't help it. I love them. Question number 9. Do you have any deal breakers in books? Yes, I definitely do. So I will say that honestly, like smut, explicit sexual content, nudity, all that kind of thing in books that I'm not expecting them to be in, right? So say that like if I pick up a romance, I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, there's smut in this. I'm gonna like put it down because how dare they? Like I understand going into it that that's most likely what is gonna have the content is gonna have. I'm talking like books that you wouldn't necessarily like thrillers. Like most thrillers don't have that content in it. Every now and then you'll come across one that does. Fantasies too. Like it totally depends on. I'm not talking romantices. I'm talking straight up fantasy. Or anything like that that like you would not necessarily think, oh, this would have smut in it. It's not the genre known for that type of thing. Then yeah, definitely turns me off. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. I don't want to read about it. And when I come across it in my books, like for an example, the book Jaws, which is literally about a killer shark, okay, there is this random like sex scene in the middle of the book, and it's like, what? Why? Like it literally makes no sense to me. So that kind of thing when I'm talking smut, that's what I mean. Like books that you wouldn't expect to have that in there, definitely a no-go for me. And the other one I would say is pet death or animal cruelty, pet death, anything along those lines. There, for an example, there's a book that I just DNF'd right away because within the first chapter, the dog dies, and that's like the catalyst of the book. It's the Iron Face series by Julie Kagawa. I think the first one's the Iron King. It's like within the first couple chapters, before like anything even big happens, the dog is killed, and that's like what sets this whole thing off. And I'm just like, no, why? Literally, I just DNF'd it right then. I'm like, I didn't even get to the point where the dog was killed. I just knew it was coming because like I could sense it, and like by the way they were talking about it, I'm like, nope, gone. And I did look it up and see, and yeah, he was killed. So I was so disappointed in that. I was so disappointed. So the entire series is off my shelves, gone. I'm not gonna read it. Stuff like that. It's just like really the only acceptable time, in my opinion, that is okay is John Wick because it's John Wick and his story, like it makes sense for his story. But any other time, if you're not John Wick, if it's not a John Wick story, there should be no animal death being the kickoff to your story. Okay, let's just not do it. Question number 10. What's a strong opinion you've had about a book released within the last year? Don't really have one. I am not someone that reads a lot of new releases. I mean, this year, surprisingly, I actually have been reading quite a bit of new releases. But I don't have any like hot takes or any like, super opposing opinions to like the masses, I guess. So yeah, unfortunately, this is another one that I can't really answer because I don't know. Question number 11. What do you look for in writing? What makes a book stand out to you? Is it prose, themes, voice, structure? As I said before, atmosphere. I am all about the atmosphere, like the plot. If it has good descriptive writing, if it's very strong world building, like lush descriptive writing, like even into purple prose, like Lonnie Taylor, I really like her writing. Amelia Hart, I just read both of her books. I've read both of her books this year, and I feel like she has very lyrical writing without it being over the top, ridiculous, like, okay, get to the point already type of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I really like stuff that immerses me in the world, and I really feel like I'm there, and is very descriptive in the writing style. All of that sort of stuff, I guess, is what I would say for this question. Question number 12. How do you decide what to read next? So I am definitely a mood reader. Like hardcore mood reader. If I'm not in the mood to read a book, I just can't. I cannot. Yeah, I don't care if it has a deadline or not or anything like that. I just can't read it. But I do have kind of a few ways that help me pick my books throughout the month. So I do have a TBR game, which does help me pick a pile of possibilities kind of situation. I will link that up above as well if you guys are interested. It's based on Jurassic Park. It's a lot of fun, I think. It's down in the description too. So yeah, I would say that like I use that to kind of help me pick out the like certain books I'm going to read during the month, and then I partake in readathons, in challenges, all of that sort of thing. So I kind of try and pick books that will fit that I'm also in the mood for. But as far as like, oh, what book am I directly reading next? Unless it's like the Amazing Readathon that's happening this month in June, where it's like, okay, the prompt drops and then we read what the prompt is. And like I already have a book planned for each prompt. Normally it's like, okay, here's my stack of books that I have to read in the month of June, but I don't have any specific order. It's like whatever I'm in the mood for within this stack is what I'm going to read. Again, like I said, that can sometimes get me in trouble because sometimes I'm not in the mood to read any of them and I go read something else that's completely off the wall. But yeah, that is kind of how I would choose what I read next. Question number 13. Where do you get your inspiration for your booktube content? What sparks your video ideas? Other creators, trends, personal reading experiences? I would say mostly other creators for sure, especially on booktube. I just love the creativity that other people can bring to their channel, and I like get inspired by them to do certain things. Now, I haven't really done anything super unique on my channel before. I have a lot of stuff that's kind of like brewing in my brain though, of like what I want to do moving forward. But besides your basic TBRs, wrap ups, tag videos, I haven't really done anything too impressive. But I definitely would say like other people inspire me and make me think of ideas for things. So I don't necessarily like be like, oh, I'm going to copy them directly, but it's like, oh, that video inspired me to make my own version of it type of thing. And then I would always give credit, you know, if someone inspires me for something, then I would give credit for that. But yeah, that's just kind of, you know, like, or if I have, like, say I read something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to now make a vlog all about me reading this type of book or something like that, then yeah. But it's mostly other creators, I would say. Question 14. If you could make any book go viral right now, what would it be? Okay, I'm gonna say The Other Sister by Jessica R. Patch. Now this one, oh my goodness, this was such a good book. I was not expecting this book to go as deep and far as it did, as far as the darkness level of it, the grittiness, but I loved it. It's a great thriller. I mean, okay, if you're a thriller reader, pick this one up for sure. It's about a woman who finds out once her mom passes away that she has a twin and she was separated at birth and she knew nothing about them. They're identical twins, and she gets a hold of her twin and they meet up, and the twin seems to have this wonderful, beautiful life, super wealthy, super successful, whereas our main character is really down on her luck. You know, her mom was a drug addict and like all of these issues that she had. And so she's kind of like, man, I wish that your parents would have adopted me too. Like, why are we separated? You know, all of the stuff that would be going through your head in that situation. And then a tragedy happens to the sister. And so our main character basically takes her identity and realizes that maybe the sister's life isn't as picture perfect as she made it seem out to be. And there is some dark topics in here. So I would definitely say check your trigger warnings for sure. Nothing explicit, nothing gory, nothing like that, but just the topics talked about for sure get a little bit darker than I was expecting. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The twist, I thought that this whole thing, I'm like, I got this book figured. Like, I'm a seasoned thriller reader. I know. Nope, I was wrong. There was a reveal at the end that I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming, and it was like in the best way, you know what I mean? So yeah, this book deserves all of the hype, you guys. Okay, and our last question. Who are some booktubers with reading tastes similar to yours? Honestly, I'm like, I can't really think of anybody that's like super, super similar to me that still does content. The one person I was thinking of was Rachel from BookBoop. She was like my booktube twin. Like literally we had the same views on like every book. So like I knew she loved it, I would love it, and vice versa, or like hated it, I would hate it kind of thing. But she doesn't post content anymore, unfortunately. As far as other people that are still active, the closest as far as my thriller reading, I would say would be Audrey from Chapters in Converse. She definitely, I mean, she's a big thriller reader. There are definitely some times that like she likes books that I don't like, but I would say she's probably the closest I've found that has the same tastes as me. And as far as fantasy goes, I don't know, guys. I really have no idea. But I'm glad to do this so I can find people that maybe do have similar tastes to me so I can get good rec. Honestly, I don't really know of anyone who is very similar to me as far as my reading tastes go. But if you think you are and you have a booktube, like let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to check it out. Speaking of, if you want to do this tag, please do this tag and then let me know because I want to go watch your video to see what your answers are to these questions. Because I think it's a fun tag and it's just a great way for the community to come together and get to meet new people and really just, be a community, right? So that's that. That is the Get to Know My Tastes tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already and you like my content. I would appreciate it. I'm very close to 300 subscribers. So if you want to help me get over that hump, I would so appreciate it. But, no pressure. If you're like, yeah, your content's not for me, totally fine. Totally understandable. That is, I guess, the tag. Like I said, if you want to do it, then I tag you. Make sure you check out the original creators down below in the description along with everything else. And if you want to leave an emoji, go ahead and leave the emoji of the two girls holding hands for the other sister because we have two sisters here. So yeah, leave that emoji. If you have nothing else to say, you know the drill. Comment down below, all of the things, any of your thoughts. I want to hear them. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.